Hello, everybody. Let's go ahead and go over the trade reviews for the day, so you can see how you could have made some money with the signals. So there was a bunch of stuff that was signaled today, and things did all really, really, really well. And let's go ahead and start off with, let's see here. What was the first thing signaled? DAL, Delta Airlines, is the first thing signaled this morning. Broke right at entry. Broke entry right at the beginning of the day. Then it did have a one right after it. And one thing that I always say is I don't ever sell my orders based off of a one, right? A one has no direction. One is indecisive. One is consolidating. I need a direction to either keep me in it or to take me out of it. And a one is directionless. So this one, I would not have been out on the play. We do have a retest right here. As you can see, we come back down, we wick the entry again, and then we just absolutely take off. Plowing through PT1, plowing through PT2. This is where things start getting really choppy, and you should be out of, majority of your position here, some more of your position here. And then when you are watching it not pass the price target here, this would give me a little bit of confidence to hold on to any runners that I have and to see if things are going to play out. And again, your runner should be with the stop and profit somewhere, even if it's just right here at the price target. You can see we bounce right off of it, and very slowly but surely staying above the VWAP itself. We go up and we hit the next price target that we were very close to as well. We don't quite hit the final one though, which is all right because you were still able to make some money from here to here, if not again here to here. So DAL was a really, really great ticker to trade today. If you caught the signal when I signaled it, boom, you were able to make some money. Next is Google. Now, I personally played Google. I played Google twice. Let me show you exactly how I did it. So I got into Google when it crossed entry, right here. It crossed entry, and it went up and it hit PT1, selling majority of my orders. It comes back down, and we are wicking and staying off of the bottom band of the VWAP. This told me hold on to my runners. There's no reason to sell my runners. Eventually, we then break past PT1 and PT2 again. And when this candle wicked down, I had already sold majority of my positions. So my runners that I had left, I sold when it broke the upper band to the downside. And then I watched it wick off of the VWAP and price target one all over again. So we got an algorithm and the VWAP that it's wicking off of. I got more calls when it was still, this candle wasn't even finished. It was still close to down here. Like right around this area is where I got more calls. And then it rode up, triggered my actionable signal. I need to stay in the play because I got it so low to the VWAP down here and not all the way up here. Even when it's coming down through this, I'm still in profit. There's not really a reason for me to sell this yet, I keep telling myself, because I truly, with the experience that I have, can see that we are probably going to keep going up. This candle right here was freaky for me. Not gonna lie, coming back beneath this, I was like, damn, I moved my stop loss into profit, which is like somewhere around here where my stop loss was. I didn't get stopped out. It kept freaking going. If you look, we stay above the VWAP. This is screaming, stay in your calls. And we go all the freaking way up after that, two up, two up, two up, two up, two up to the very last price target where I cashed out all of my positions at that point and sold. And then we dumped immediately after. And that is why it's so important to sell at price targets, because just because something hits the final price target does not mean it's going to keep going on forever, right? You have to be aware of that. You have to be aware of that. When it's time to sell, it's time to sell, right? And so I was able to play Google twice because of understanding the VWAP and algorithms. Next was PFE. PFE broke really early this morning as well, if I'm not mistaken. Right away, and it did not hit that price target. So completely transparent. If you did not get out of your position in profit when you were up here, right, just moving your stop losses into profit along the way, you probably were stopped out on this, especially since we're staying underneath the VWAP itself, which is this middle band here. You wouldn't want to be holding on to calls, right? However, we do end up breaking it again. We get extremely choppy, but you could use something like the VWAP to say, as long as we stay above the VWAP, I'm good. And we do. We end up bouncing off of it again, going out and hitting this next price target. But this choppiness would have been rough to be in. It would have been rough to be in. So if you had gotten out of it anywhere in here because you're like, yo, I'm just so tired of the back and forth with this, then watching it reject off the VWAP right down here would have been the play. Like, oh, I'm watching it bounce off the VWAP. Time for me to get some calls. And then you would have been able to write those calls up to the price target and get out of the play with the majority of your position at that price target and or stopped out in profit. Next was BA. I also played BA today. The BA and Google were two of the plays that like I had a lot of confidence in their setups, so that's why I played those two. But BA was a little rough for some time. I'm not gonna be honest. I pretty much held on to my entire position all day, which was rough because at one point I was down and I didn't like the number I was down, but um, there were things that I had in my favor that told me like, hey, keep holding on to it, right? So we break, we hit PT1, and I get out of, or I try to get out of some of my positions, and I wasn't fast enough. Fully transparent, I wasn't fast enough, and this thing shot right back up. So I'm like, damn. I told myself, when we cross this upper band of the VWAP, I'm going to get out of the play. If we stay beneath this upper band, then for the period of the day, as long as things keep going in that direction, I should be good, right? But things take time. I can't expect every play to just hit and be done in the next 5 minutes, right? Things do take time. So I have to be patient. Seeing that it rejects the upper band and comes back beneath the VWAP, it felt good to hold on to it. However, when I got to PT1, damn, still kind of negative. I'm not gonna lie. It was like -3% or something. And I was like, oh, that sucks. Then it comes down here and I'm like +3%. And then it just goes right back up, right back into a negative position. I'm like, oh my God, this is nutty. And as you can see, this is where I have my stop loss. Like my alert is still here. I think you'll be able to see what it says. It says fuck, right? Like, oh God, I got to get out of this position, right? Um, but it didn't hit. It didn't hit. It kept coming back down. Hit it again, broke down a little bit more, tried staying beneath the VWAP, came back up again, and I'm thinking, oh my God, no way. Stop it. Go do what you're supposed to do. But what is this? It's retesting the entry, it's rejecting the VWAP, and then dump. And once we get beneath the bottom band over here, we stayed under it. And I was able to hold on to my position from here, and I sold right here, like right where this one is, because I thought it was about to hit the price target. I sold right here, right at the bottom of that wick. I was like, I'm not going to be a dick for a tick. That's good. I was up 52% on the play. I was like, let me just take my money and go. As soon as I sold, it started shooting back up again. And I was like, oh boy, but it did end up going and hitting that price target right here. So BA did take out majority of his price targets. But that is how I played BA today. Hopefully you see sort of the things that I see and how we are on like just a downward trending slope here. That made me feel confident in holding on to the play. So BA and Google were the two things that I made some really, really good money on today. And then we will tail things off with Uber. And I'm not gonna lie, I was sad I didn't get into Uber. Oh my God, I was sad I didn't get into Uber. Oh my God, because it looked like it looked like such a great setup. And two, as soon as this thing broke entry, it went for everything. Broke entry, took out PT1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost the final PT, right? In just a swift movement. This is 5 minutes. 5, 10, 15, and 15 minutes. It took out almost every single price target given. Meanwhile, I'm over here in BA waiting all freaking day, and Uber's done in 15 minutes. I was like, dang, I should have got into Uber as well, right? But I didn't want to be in a copious amount of plays at the same time, right? I like to keep things easy to manage, right? And I recommend that for everybody as well. Um, so yeah, that was DAL, Google, PFE, BA, and Uber. I believe, right? Did all those? Yeah. Yep. Cool. Um, awesome. Well, I hope that you were able to make some money today off of those signals, everybody. That's getting them. And God bless. I will see you soon.